Kong Yuanba's 4 laughs are not truly laughs. Since you're already here, do not allow the new seedlings of Qingyan sect experience the might of our giant sect's prodigy. Wan Kong Washuang thought of Fang Chen. His gaze was sharp. But it almost forgot about that kid. How dare an outsider practice martial arts? Tomorrow I will teach him properly. What is true martial arts? One day, Shi Feng Zhanming, including the new outer disciples, all the new disciples of Qingyan sect, everyone has arrived at the Master Hall. Led by Liu Wenchen, the new disciples bowed one by one before the ancestral master at the grave wall. Wait for one matter to be completed. The nerves of the inner disciples were even more taut, because of the next segment is the most important. That is where they sparred in front of the ancestral hall. A call to determine the victor. Kan Zanu, I heard you had a bet with Liu Zhangju's daughter. Kan Yuanba turned his head, gazing at the new sheer long dress. The elegantly slow-moving Gong Kei smilingly said, "Do you want to bet with the sect master as well?" Gong Kei wished to embrace the subtle chill. Not interested. Liu Wenchen sitting in the middle, feeling quite helpless. Separated from him, Kang Yuanba does not give up on harassing Gong Kei. Kang Zhangju, the competition among us disciples is about to begin. Please be quiet for a moment. Kang Yuanba shouted. Squinting, he scanned the surroundings. The new disciples beside the sect leader. Shen smiled and said, "There are quite a few new disciples. Just don't know how many are worth watching." Liu Wenchen's expression darkened. Many years have passed. Kang Yuanba is still so arrogant. But who made the giant sect one of the 9 sects? One of the strongest sects. Qingyan sect is one of the weakest among the 3 sects. He gave a glance to several lords. They each understood. Everyone is getting advice to the new disciples. Don't hold on later. Show your strength to the fullest. Do not diminish the reputation of the Qingyan sect in front of outsiders. New disciples. I also felt the small bridge of Kang Yuanba. Everyone held their breath. Then 20 new disciples of the inner sect, including the equation, by drawing lots. The sparring has begun. A wooden box appeared in front of them. Liu Wenchen said, "There are round balls in the box marked with numbers 1 to 10. Each has 2. The ones who draw the same number. Mutual learning." Many people noticed Cao Zhen and Tao Zhengjun right away. These 2 can be said to be the strongest among the new disciples. Although there is still Liu Ruxu, Liu Riying, Chen Silin, a highly talented female disciple. But they advanced in their cultivation. The realm is not considered very high. Draw 3 of them. There is still the strength of a battle. Cao Zhen and Tao Zhengjun can be drawn. Absolutely eliminated on the spot. The first time appearing before the sovereign and the 9 elders. Everyone hopes to leave a good impression. As for the final reward for entering the library, they no longer dare to hold on to hope. Very soon, Fang Zheng drew in number 3. Liu Wenchen immediately began the pairing. Reincarnation seals Cao Zhen. Battle against the carefree Feng Tao Su Lin. Zhangju Feng Tao Zhenjun. Duel against Zhu Tianfeng, Wu Jiang Tao. Hearing about the situation of the 2. Except for Tao Sulin and Wu Jiang Tao, all the new disciples often breathe a sigh of relief. The 2 strongest have been eliminated. The rest can be discussed easily. Zhangju Feng Fei Chen. Duel with the Mad Blade, Feng Zhengjiu. Fang Jing's gaze searches for the past. A hand holding the number 3 ball was discovered. Tall and handsome. A disciple who is highly regarded by the female students. Looking at him with disdain. "You are the disciple of the sect master with no spiritual roots. I've long heard of your esteemed name. Don't let me take you down in 3 moves later." Laughter erupted all around. Among the new disciples, who is the strongest? Without a doubt, it is Cao Zhen and Tao Zhengjun. But when it comes to who is the most famous, without a doubt, it's the dark horse of the equation. This guy doesn't have much luck. Unexpectedly drew the new disciple of the Mad Blade sect master. Zheng Jiu had already established his foundation, and has mastered an imperial level advanced sword technique. It is said that their knife skills are exquisite. He earned the recognition of Zheng Jiu, disciples like Fang Zhang who have no spiritual roots. It's impressive if you can withstand 3 of his moves. Their discussion, the equation is just a breeze by my ear. Gong Kai's smile was ambiguous. Glanced at Liu Qingxian. "Miss Dao Liu, if the equation hasn't had the chance yet, defeated in the battle against Cao Zhen, how shall we calculate our wager?" He does not have much confidence in the strength of the equation, the excellence of equations. It lies in understanding, alchemy and other aspects, the innate shortcoming of lacking spiritual roots. His martial arts skills are destined to be quite limited. It's possible that even reaching level 9 will be difficult. Liu Qingxian smiled mysteriously. "If he can't even win against Zheng Jiu, even if I lose—" Oh, Gong Kai was surprised. Why does Liu Qingxian have such high hopes for Fang Cheng's abilities? Ming Ming's strength cannot possibly be that high. As the disciples were arranged in order, the sparring quickly began. Cao Zhen and Tao Zhengjun truly live up to the expectations as the promising new disciples. Within 5 rounds, successfully defeated the enemy. Moreover, Liu Yaoyu appears to be very relaxed. The rest of the discussions proceeded in an orderly manner. Kang Washuang carried his hands behind his back, gently watching the sparring, shook his head, except for Cao Zhen and Tao Zhengjun, who look somewhat alike. The rest is unbearable to look at. The Qingyun sect is indeed too barren. There are no impressive seedlings. He didn't intentionally lower his voice, so all the disciples present heard. Cao Zhen furrowed his brows. "Come, Washuang, dare to compete with me?" So audacious in the territory of Qingyun sect, he proudly claimed to be the top new disciple, cannot pretend not to have heard it. Kang Washuang let out a laugh. "You are no match for me. I am not interested in you." At this moment, Liu Wenchen said expressionlessly, "Last group. Fang Chen battles Zhang Jiu." He felt jealous. Can't help but feel a headache. What he feared the most was Fang Chen putting himself in the spotlight, affecting one's reputation. Such an occasion as the grand ceremony. He has to step forward, just show up. There must be someone to challenge. Yet his luck was so bad. Selected Zhang Jiu. Zheng Jiu among the new disciples. Strength is definitely among the top. Cao Zhen's attention was drawn over. King Lai glanced at Fang Chen. "Fight me. You may not even have the qualifications." Charging straight towards me. What made his eyebrows twitch was, Kang Washuang's eyes sparkled with strands of golden light. His eyes showed a hint of interest. "Very good. The only person I consider my rival. Finally on stage. Let me see what you're capable of." Cao Zhen was indignant. Kang Washuang looked down on his abilities, but glanced at the other person with disdain. On what basis? He is recognized as a member of the Qingyun sect, the strongest among the new disciples. Why does everyone have such high hopes for Fang Chen? Everyone's thoughts and feelings are different, but without exception. Everyone is quite concerned about this battle, far beyond the sparring between Cao Zhen and Tao Zhengjun. Even more concerning, Fang Chen calmly walked forward. Zheng Jiu carried a large sword on his back. Fang Chen stood there, empty-handed and with red eyes. Now, where is your weapon? No need. Fang Chen shook his head. Dealing with this kind of strength, there's no need to draw the purple arrow just yet. Zheng Jiu chuckled in anger. Arrogance. Really thought that being a sect master's disciple for a few days meant something. You can't just follow someone superior and expect to be elevated. The competition is about strength. It's not about identity. Very well. I'll just consider it a good deed. I hit the luggage with my knife. He stepped forward confidently, swift as thunder, stirring up dust by the roadside. The long knife gleamed coldly. A powerful wave was unleashed towards Fang Chen. 1,000 troops and 10,000 horses. The new disciples were all taken aback. Cao Zhen and Tao Zhenjun both felt a slight solemnity. The power of this blade was as they expected. Liu Wenxin's face looked very grim. He was a bit angry, arrogant enough to go unarmed despite having no spiritual roots. Who gave Fang Chen the courage? Isn't this asking for trouble? However, with a dull sound from the east, Liu Wenxin's expression slightly changed. This doesn't sound like the sound of a knife. It sounds like the sound of fists and feet. Looking up, Zheng Jiujing spat out blood with a fierce momentum. Yang was continuously retreating. With a thud, he knelt down on the ground. If it weren't for the long knife pressed against his waist, this time I've fallen to the ground and can't get up. Fang Chen expressionlessly cupped his hands. Thank you for your understanding. After a brief silence in the entire venue, people began to stir. It turns out Fang Chen won. One move and victory was achieved. That's ridiculous. The disciples were astonished. The elders present and several feudal lords. How can one remain calm? Gong Kai was shocked. Not. Is he really ruthless? How can your strength be so formidable? Liu Qingxian felt quite pleased. When Ling Chai was baiting, Fang Chen's move pushed him back. Zheng Jiu, how could he be a match for Fang Chen? Liu Wenchen looked surprised. He actually won. I thought Fang Chen would definitely lose. He let out a faint sigh. It's all right. Finally won a match. Moreover, it is also the disciple personally taught by Quan Dao Feng. Even if we lose later, it's not too embarrassing. Kang Washuang revealed a hint of a smile. I knew it. This guy is no simpleton. The palm technique he just displayed. It seems to have a bit of a reputation. Unlike most people's focus on Zheng Jiu, he has always been focused on Fang Chen. So he saw part of his palm. Cao Zhen snorted through his nostrils. It was just a coincidence that I won against Zheng Jiu. Kang Washuang chuckled softly. By chance. I see. Even if you encountered that strike just now, the next match won't be any better. Cao Zhen laughed in anger. Stop him. Still want to defeat me with another move? The elders were also restless. The mad blade's master left everyone speechless. Unintentionally glancing at Lai Qingfeng, questioned. Elder Lai, didn't you say? He is a disciple without spiritual roots. How can it be stronger than the Zhengjiu I brought back myself? If I had known this would happen, I should have taken him under my wing back then. Lai Qingfeng was immediately stunned, but soon found a reason. Just a coincidence. It's just a coincidence. Zhengjiu was overly careless. One more time. Fang Chen had no chance of winning at all. First round of sparring. A calm and uneventful ending. Liu Wenchen quickly gathered the 10 victorious disciples. Conduct the second round of the drawing. Zandu Fen Fangchen. Battle against Sect Master Feng Tao Zhenjun. As soon as the lottery results were announced, everyone began to whisper again. There are many regrets. Clearly, everyone thinks Fang Chen is very unlucky. I unexpectedly ran into my own sealed senior brother. Liu Wenchen sighed helplessly. The luck is just too twisted. However, the remaining people are all strong. Whoever Fang Chen draws, it's a loss. Thinking of this, he became indifferent. Next, I will announce the order of the upcoming match-ups. Once the arrangements are complete, Fang Chen and Tao Zhangjun arrived at the square one after another. Cao Zhen gleefully rejoiced. Kang Washuang, you still think Fang Chen can win, right? Kang Washuang chuckled. Why not? Cao Zhen felt puzzled. That is Tao Zhenjun. He wasn't sure he could win for sure. Dual cultivation of law and body, a tough character. What does Fang Chen have to win? Gong Kai also had the same curiosity. Miss Liu, do you still believe Fang Chen can win? Liu Qingxian leisurely sharpened her nails with a small dagger, faintly devoid of suspense. Is that so? Gong Kai felt a bit anxious in his heart. Did I underestimate Fang Chen's martial arts ability? I really put a lot of effort into this. Lai Qingfeng recited the Void Tao. The death of the child will undoubtedly lead to defeat. Just watch and see. I, an old man, can never be wrong about people. However, with Liu Wenchen's call to start, Tao Zhenjun, however, kicked back with one leg. I give up. But Liu Wenchen stood up abruptly, astonished. Tao Zhenjun, what are you doing? Give up. Admit defeat to Fang Chen. Tao Zhengjun is indeed his hope. He is counting on Tao Zhengjun to cultivate both law and body together, defeat all the new disciples, maintaining the dignity of the suzerain. Result, he admitted defeat, still conceding to Fang Chen, a disciple he looked down upon. The other elders were also taken aback. Tao Zhenjun, one of the top contenders for the championship, unexpectedly admitted defeat. Tao Zhen was caught off guard. Astonished, he said, "This works too. Does Tao Zhenjun have any compromising evidence?" Fell into Fang Chen's hands. Lai Qingfeng also swayed his body. An unexpected situation. Let him lose face. Duh. How could Tao Zhengjun possibly be inferior to Fang Chen? It must be that the two had some private agreement before the competition. Many disciples found it hard to accept this outcome. But upon closer thought, Lai Qingfeng's words make sense as well. Besides this, it's hard to explain Tao Zhenjun's reasons for conceding. Gong Kai with her delicate brows, appeared elegant. What exactly is going on with Fang Chen? He thought that after spending half a month together, I'd have already seen through Fang Chen. Why do I feel like I can't see through it more and more? So, second round of sparring. Ends amidst a sigh. Very quickly, the remaining 5 drew lots again. Liu Wenchen announced, Lun Hui Fengkao Town, after the battle against Jinyun's siege. Tianjian seals Liu Ruyan. The battle is to seal Pan Kaio Kaio. Fan Chen. By round. The outcome of the battle. It sparked another round of discussion. No way. This is called Fang Chen. The opponent conceded in the last round. Is this round a direct bye? He fought his way in purely by luck. I call him the luckiest king of Qingyan sect. After much effort and with great skill, Liu Ruyan gradually broke into the top 5, rolled her eyes at Fang Chen. You have extraordinary luck. Fang Chen shrugged. I want to settle this quickly. Liu Ryan let out a soft hum. Gained a bargain yet still complains. Then just watched my battle with others. Half a month into joining the sect. From the moment Liu Ryan fell apart. I've been in seclusion ever since. It is all to showcase elegance and charm. Hard work pays off for those who are dedicated. Under the powerful resources of Qingyan sect, His sixth grade spiritual route was greatly enhanced. In just half a month, also from the first floor of the embassy, broke through to the second layer of the base. The body technique is even more skilled than before. In addition, I have mastered the exquisite swordsmanship of the heavenly sword seal. The strength is like a stone in a lonely boat, cannot be compared on the same day. That Pan Kyo Kiao is capable of defeating the top 5. Nature is not to be taken lightly. But it's just 10 rounds. Just then, Liu Ru Yan flipped over with a single sword. The audience erupted in applause. Gong Kai's plan contained a hint of surprise. Surprisingly, you also understand a bit of body movement. Moreover, it seems to have some connection with the equation. Liu Wenchen showed a look of admiration. Lai Qingfeng has indeed taken on a formidable disciple. Cao Zhen looked at this with some amazement. A girl with outstanding beauty and strength enthusiastically stepped forward to congratulate. Liu Shaimai's strength is outstanding. She is undoubtedly the foremost female disciple of the Heart Realm. After the match, let's have some more exchanges when we have time. Liu Ryan was slightly surprised. Cao Zhen is indeed the favored disciple of the Grand Elder. Lin Zhen is even one level higher than him. Moreover, they come from a family of martial arts. It is far beyond what the Liu family's small household can compare to. Such a person actually took the initiative to befriend me. His vanity was greatly satisfied. Polite to the end. All right, Brother Cao. Yu Guang quietly glanced at Fang Chen. It seems to be telling the equation. This is the charm of Liu Ryan, attracting all the top talents of the time. Unfortunately, the equation didn't even glance at him. This made Liu Ruyan slightly bite her silver teeth. Don't think your realm is higher than mine. Just look down on others. Arrived at Qingyan sect, Lin Zhen decided to go online, relying on overdrawn potential to reach the 4th level of assistance. It will be difficult to climb higher from now on, and I will slowly surpass you. Fang Cheng was astonished. Why does he look down on others? Just now I was only watching Liu Ru Yan's silhouette. Thought of Liu Ruxu. Miss you sometimes. That's why I was lost in thought. He was too lazy to argue with Liu Ru Yan. Nadbid. Yes, 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 you are right. This perfunctory attitude, this only angered Liu Ryan more. Irritated, he drew his sword. Pointing equation, I come to spar with you. Dare you? After 3 rounds of competition, now only Cao Zhen remains. Feng Cheng, Liu Ryan, and the 3 of them. Generally speaking, it's a 2-on-2 sparring. The final rankings of the candle competition are out. Kang Washuang, who has been observing for a long time. My hands are itching. Slightly smiling, they said, Equation, why don't I join in as well? How are you? Just right, you can spar with that girl. I have a match with Cao Zhen. Eliminate those 2 nuisances. You and I will have a good fight. Inequality equation response. Cao Zhen laughed in anger. Calm Washuang, you really take yourself seriously. You eliminated me too. Of course. He didn't dare to take matters into his own hands. In anger, he said to the Grand Elder Feng Guzhan, Master, please allow me to teach this rude guy a lesson. Feng Guzhan's gaze shifted. Slowly, with sweaty hands, he spoke. Don't bring shame to the reincarnation wind. Wait a minute. Liu Wenchen blocked the way. This is the ancestor worship ceremony of our Qingyan sect. Participation of external disciples. It's a bit inappropriate. Kang Washuang is the strongest new disciple of the giant sect. If he were at the Qingyan sect's ancestral worship ceremony, win first place. Isn't that just giving others something to laugh at? The newcomers of Qingyan sect this year are not impressive, trampled underfoot by the giant. Kang Yuanba chuckled. Could it be that Master Liu is worried about the new disciples of Qingyan sect? Not as good as others. Losing is embarrassing. Fengu Zhan smiled and said, The master just let the younger generation have their fun. No problem. I am a disciple of the Wind Rebirth. Assured victory for the championship. He has a smile on his face. But my mouth is full of that flavor. I, Lun Hui Feng, am the strongest in Qingyan sect. It's clear they want to leverage the presence of the leaders of the two major sects, demonstrate the absolute power of the cycle wind, weaken the status of the suzerain. His heart is deserving of punishment. Liu Wencheng's face was as grim as it could be. If Tao Zhenjun were present, then he still has a chance. But what remains is Fang Chen, who has relied on luck all the way. How could he represent the sovereign wind? War god Kam Washuang. The grandeur of this ancestral worship ceremony will be swept clean by the winds of reincarnation. The most important thing is stealing clean in front of outsiders. This affects his reputation as the leader of the Qingyan sect. Very unfavorable. Without waiting for his objection, Fengu Zhan announced for him. The competition begins. Fang Chen and Liu Ruyan arrive first. Liu Wencheng came to his senses. It's already late. He was filled with rage. The Grand Elder has become more and more audacious. Everyone dares to have the sect leader give orders now. The two external sect leaders were present. He can't have an episode. Otherwise, people will notice the serious internal conflicts within the Qingyan sect. Can only endure in silence. Fuming, I watched Fang Chen and Liu Ryan spar. Watch out. Liu Ruyan's strike was the strongest sword move. Unleash all your cultivation. Fang Chen was completely confused. What happened to you? Such a ruthless move. We've arrived at Qingyan sect. Why are you still acting like a spoiled young lady? Fang Chen won't spoil him. With a decisive kick using the Huanji advanced leg technique against the magic stone wall. Kenqiang Liu Ryan often loses her grip, but he clenched his teeth tightly, a posture that is completely unwilling to give up, clumsily hammering Fang Chen with a powdery fist. Fang Chen was a bit speechless. He has never learned martial arts, okay? Without a moment's thought, caught his fist with a palm, then a spin. He pulled his arm behind his back and picked it up. This easily subdued them. Liu Ruyan felt both ashamed and angry. I have worked hard in seclusion for half a month. Unexpectedly, it only took a moment for Fang Chen to subdue him. The scene where the beauty is bullied, Ka Zhen felt particularly heartbroken. Angrily walked to, surnamed Fang, bullying Sister Liu like this. You'll see what happens later. Liu Ryan smugly snorted at Fang Chen. Did you hear that? Brother Cao is going to stand up for me. You're about to get unlucky. Fang Chen let him go, caught between laughter and tears. Let's talk about it after he defeats Kang Washuang. My intuition tells me this Kang Washuang is not easy to deal with. Liu Ryan rubbed her arm, which was slightly aching, said with a hint of complaint, Your intuition is yours. Does not represent Brother Cao. His abilities. Just watch closely. Is that so? Fang Chen smiled, silently stepped aside. Cao Zhen and Kang Washuang were called upon repeatedly, arrived at the empty bottom. Both are outstanding among the new disciples. Unmatched strength. Cao Zhen held a long sword in his hand. Dao. This sword of mine is a Zhongbing weapon, sharp and boundless. A single swing of the sword has no eyes. If I hurt you, don't blame me. Kang Washuang crossed her arms over her chest, with the look of boredom. Less chatter. Your sword is still sharp. You have to be able to meet me too. Go for it. Let me give you 3 moves. What? Let me have 3 moves. Cao Zhen felt deeply humiliated. He laughed angrily. I, Cao Zhenshin, possess extraordinary grace. Years of sparring with others. It's always me who gets left behind, being forced by others to give in. It's still the first time. Okay, I'll just take a look. Your strength does not match your arrogance. With a resounding clang, he drew out the orange long sword. I have broken out the swordsmanship. Sky strike, chasing stars and pursuing the moon. Fengyan Fury, 3 consecutive moves, unleash the entire swordsmanship of this low-tier mystery. However, this seems like a technique of spiritual power. In front of Kong Washuang, it felt like everything was in slow motion. He always had a smile on his face, arms crossed in front of the chest. Not a single step was taken, just casually brushed my shoulder, tilted my head, checked the body, easily resolved with 3 moves. Truly keeping the promise. Let 3 moves go. The elders and disciples of the entire venue. Everyone can see the play unfolding. He didn't just concede 3 moves. This is clearly standing still. Let you strike 3 moves. Even so, Cao Zhenai did not harm a single hair on him. Is the chain kicker really that terrifying? Amazing reflexes. Feng Guzhan felt a bit flustered. He is very confident in Cao Zhen's strength. Kai insisted on a duel between Cao Zhen and Kong Washuang. The mighty reputation of the red poplar and the wind of reincarnation. Strange material. Kong Washuang is terrifyingly strong. Kong Yuanba's strange behavior turned upside down. Challenge me here. You really have courage. He is the most talented athlete I have ever seen. Much stronger than I was in my youth. I am unable to assist with that. The heart of Feng Guzhan sinks straight down. Liu Wenchen was extremely worried. Cao Zhenyo lost. The consequences are unimaginable. On the field, Cao Zhen was a bit surprised, also a bit annoyed. In front of the entire sect, I was humiliated openly. He roared. Once again, he swung his sword. Don't look down on others. However, Kong Washuang stood still. He is helpless against it. Moreover, 3 moves have already passed. Cao Zhen only felt a blur before his eyes. Kong Washuang, who is just standing in place, transformed into a wisp of lingering sorrow. In an instant, Cao Zhenlian was blown away along with his people. I fought several battles while spitting blood, finally smashed at Liu Wenchen's feet. Liu Wenchen's face turned ashen, glaring angrily at Feng Guzhan. This defeat. Not only did Cao Zhen suffer defeat, it further enhances the reputation of the Qingyan sect. In front of the ancestor's statue, at the grand ancestor worship ceremony, the strongest heart disciple of Qingyan sect, severely injured by a single strike from an outer sect disciple. Isn't this a huge joke? Feng Guqian, knowing he had caused great trouble, using forceful arguments to try to win a debate. Don't you still have a disciple? It's not just my disciple of the wind cycle who has lost. You will also lose. Liu Wenchen wished he could fight him on the spot, with such a great elder present. How can I not worry that the Qingyan sect will soon decline? Unfortunately, both external sect leaders are present. He was momentarily filled with thunderous rage. You must also endure until after they leave. With a sullen face, he said impatiently, Fang Chen, Kong Washuang, quick battle, quick resolution. He just wanted to quickly end this embarrassing scene. After sending off the 2 sect leaders, let's settle the score with Feng Guzhan properly. Fang Chen approached expressionlessly. He also wants to give it a try. The iron-blooded true scripture of oneself. Can I fight with my childhood crush, Kang Washuang? Fang Chen also felt the intersection with Liu Wenchen, understanding the battle between myself and Kang Washuang more clearly. No longer just a simple exchange between the two sides, but is related to the reputation of Qingyan's sect. He nodded, gently tapping the tip of the toes. Arriving at the center of the square, calmly said, I will do my best. You'd better not hold back. Otherwise, I can't ensure your safety. Of course, the effort he mentioned. It excludes the Purple Sword and the Earth Foundation enforcement. These two. He still wanted to be the trump card. Taking revenge on the enemy is not easy with just one strike, exposed during the sparring. It's really not worth it. Cao Zhan beside him, a face full of humiliation with nowhere to vent. So confident in oneself, but ended up being brutally beaten by Kang Washuang. Hearing Fang Chen's words, can't help but laugh. Something inexplicable. Kang Washuang is so powerful. Didn't you see just now? You actually dare to say such outrageous words. Fang Chen glanced at him, killing the heart to avenge the soul. Kang Washuang is incredibly powerful. I didn't notice. How incompetent are you? I can see through it. Gave free moves. Still got knocked down by the enemy's move. If I were you, now covering my face, avoiding people. Never complain or whine. To lose face. The hall was filled with disciples and elders. They also cast a few disappointed glances at Cao Zhen. Let's not discuss Cao Zhen's martial arts prowess for now. On being human, it's truly hard not to like. Now Fang Chen represents the battle between the Qingyan sect and the outside sects. Cao Zhen doesn't even give encouragement to his own people. One should not enhance others' ambitions while diminishing one's own prestige. Feng Gu is entangled, but firmly supports his disciple. Why are you looking at? What did my disciple say wrong? You all ask yourselves. This guy without a spirit root can win. This, regardless of whether they are disciples or elders. Everyone sighed softly. Indeed, with Fang Chen's strength, no matter what you say, you won't win. Unless he becomes a lackey again. Liu Qingxian, confident in the other party, Chen. At this moment, the brows are tightly furrowed. Bong Kaisi smiled, but it wasn't really a smile. Huh. Miss Liu lost her confidence. Liu Qingxian gently bit her silver teeth. Fang Chen deals with Cao Zhen. I believe there is no problem. But for Kang Washuang, he really has no confidence. Gong Kai stretched lazily, confident of his victory. The intriguing curves hidden beneath the colorful dress, sketching out a captivating outline. Since that is the case, Fang Chen, I won't hold back in taking this. As per the agreement between both parties, Fang Chen defeated Cao Zhen, secured the top position among the new disciples. If I lose to Kang Washuang, even if it's just one win for the public, at that time, he will leave behind a golden box of the Earth Dragon. Take away Fang Chen. Liu Qingxian's heart skipped a beat. Fang Chen possesses a 9th grade spiritual root. How can I be taken away? He simply stared at the battlefield. I secretly pray for a little attack to happen. Unfortunately, as Kang Washuang took a step forward, he stepped on the ground, leaving a 1-inch deep imprint. He became hopeless. The realm of the 6 arts of body technique, Liu Qingxian's heart kept sinking. Like magic, there are different levels of martial arts skills. The threshold of body technique, it is equivalent to the realm of spell assistance. Liu Man, it is equivalent to a 6-layer assist strike. Fang Chen is a newcomer. How could a master of physical arts from the 6 gates be an opponent? Fang Chen faced the powerful aura of Kang Washuang. but instead breathed a sigh of relief, comparing Zhu Gangli. Kang Washuang's body technique has improved a lot. Make your move. Fang Chen suppressed his spiritual power, planning to use the first layer of the Iron Blood True Classic. The hard man is a genius of body refinement. Kang Washuang chuckled, still with both hands clasped in front of the chest. Spoke the exact same words as during the battle with Cao Zhen. I'll give you 3 moves. This time, no one thinks he's crazy. Even felt Kang Washuang has given the Qingyan sect a lot of face to prevent Fang Chen from losing as soon as he steps onto this stage. Bring disgrace to the Qingyan sect, Liu Wenchen said impatiently. Fang Chen, less nonsense. Hurry up and finish. It's a fact that I've lost face. Hurry up and finish. He would suffer a little less mental torment. Fang Chen originally wanted to advise Kang Washuang not to be arrogant. Since Liu Wenchen urged, he didn't hesitate at all. The legs slightly bent. That the calf suddenly exerted force. Powerful physical strength let him be like a rabbit. Suddenly shot out. The speed was astonishing. All have caught up with the body technique. The first layer of Wu Hong's shadow has arrived, with a calm smile on their face, standing with legs apart. Kang Washuang with a casual expression. His expression suddenly changed. As a practicing kicker, a fellow traveler makes their move. You can feel the presence of the other person in front of you. Fang Chen simply kicked the ground casually. The speed reached such a terrifying level. He was taken by surprise. He finally realized, Fang Chen is much stronger than I perceive. He hurriedly put down his hands that were resting on his chest. My legs felt slightly heavy. Take a combat stance. Unfortunately, it was too late. Fang Chen has arrived like a shooting star. His fists slammed against his chest. Kang Washuang was taken aback. He was too late to retaliate. Hastily crossed his arms over his chest. With a loud bang, it was like 2 boulders. The dull sound of a heavy impact suddenly exploded. Kang Washuang stumbled back several steps. The distance made it difficult for him to steady himself. Finally sat down on the ground. The bones of the arm, as if it had split open, both painful and scolded. The observing elders and disciples, Kai Kai's main character, Liu Wencheng's gloomy expression, unknowingly turned into astonishment. Kang Yuanba's face radiated confidence, also frozen at this moment. Gong Kai had a face that was half smiling, half serious, was suddenly replaced by surprise. Even Liu Qingxian, who thought she understood the equation well, the 5-column pearl lips, a pair of apricot eyes widened. Cao Zhen's eyes glazed over. Unbelievable. Liu Ruyan's eyes widened even more. Are you really? He relies on his physique. Defeated the top talent of the 9 sects, the body cultivator. Immediately, the disciples erupted in a thunderous uproar and excitement. This has no spiritual root. It seems like there's something. Our Qingyan sect still has hope. Go for it, Fang Shidi, to restore the dignity of our Qingyan sect. A huge noise. Bring the slightly dazed Kang Washuang back to her senses. He stood up with a slight push, gazing intently at the equation. Where is the confidence from earlier? As for the previously mentioned 3 moves, he felt like this was a slap in the face. Slap their own face. Make him feel a fiery sensation. He actually let a martial arts expert, who was on par with him, take 3 moves. Good. I misjudged. You are not just an ordinary kicker. Still a master. Kang Washuang clenched her fists tightly. HMPH said, Then I will fight you seriously. Let me show you what is a true practitioner of kicking. Yan Bai. A crackling sound like frying beans came from within. This is due to the muscles being pushed to their limits. At this moment he, like a violent, killing machine, with a low growl, he charged towards Fang Cheng with thunderous strides. Kai Shan Lai Shi, riding a pair of iron fists, heavily bombarded the equation furnace. The equation remains fearless. Also muster all your strength. Chose to confront head on. Red-skinned iron bone. The sound of a body colliding that makes one's teeth ache. A thunderous sound echoed across the square. And the result of the collision. It left everyone present dumbfounded. But the equation remains steadfast like a mountain, still standing tall in place. Kang Washuang was sent flying out, heavily smashed onto the ground. A pair of arms showed irregular twists. It's clearly broken. Such a result. The people present were stunned in shock. Kang Washuang's all-out effort. Kang Washuang, the first body refinement genius of the 9 sects. One move to defeat Kang Washuang, the top newcomer of Qingyan sect. In the field he takes the most pride in. One move to defeat. Liu Wenchen was stunned. His least favored disciple defeated the formidable opponent that Cao Zhan lost to. He quickly came to his senses, rushed forward with immense surprise. Both hands grasped his shoulders, full of joy. Well done. Well done. The reputation of Qingyan sect has been preserved. Greatly enhances the glory. Aren't you the giant sect that prides itself on being the #1 in body refining techniques? I'm sorry. Your strongest new disciple. It's better than having a disciple without a spiritual root in our Qingyan sect. Kang Yuanba quickly stepped forward to check. Kang Washuang's arms were found to be broken. Surprised and angry, he shouted back, "Kiddo, you hit too hard, didn't you?" Gong Kai leaped forward, came to Fang Chen's side, with a hint of schadenfreude, the ancestral worship ceremony of others. You giants insist on coming over to show off, humiliated by others, just angry out of embarrassment. Seeing both masters at the sect level protecting Fang Chen, Kang Yuanba gritted his teeth, glaring angrily at Fang Chen. "Good boy, I remember you. Hope for the enemy to be overwhelmed. Don't let our giant sect disciples catch you. Speak." The unmatched anger venting, leaving with a grim expression. Watching him walk away, Liu Wenchen and Gong Kei both secretly breathed a sigh of relief. His tone carried an unmistakable evening playfulness. The wager with Liu Qingxian. In the end, he lost. As it read, no longer mentioned the matter of accepting Fang Chen as a disciple. Fang Chen admired the gentle and considerate spirit beast sect leader. There is also a deep fondness. Bon Shu Dao. These days, Gongzong master has taken good care of me. The younger generation remembers it deeply. Gong Kai finally revealed a hint of a smile. He took out a bottle of Earth Phoenix grass juice from his waist. "According to the agreement, I sent you off." Fang Chen felt a surge of joy in his heart. "Tao, thank you, Lord Gong. This is a great thing. Pair with the best assistance elixir. Can we enhance the support power once again?" Immediately after that, Gong Kai once again stuffed a black sword into his embrace. "This sword, this is a personal gift for you from me. Let's keep it as a memory." Fang Chen took a look. Even happier. This is among the sword types of Tianji and Feng. The black sword, that was drawn out. It is a medium-level spiritual tool. The purple sword on his back. The power is indeed formidable, but unless faced with the threat of life and death, not suitable for use. During casual practice, we need a magical weapon like a black sword. The kindness of the Grand Master. The younger generation doesn't know how to repay. No one should be too reliant on others. Fang Chen said apologetically. Bong Kai chuckled lightly. What do you want me to repay? If there is an opportunity in the future, come to my spirit beast sect for a visit. The sect leader personally welcomes you. Fang Chen nodded vigorously. The younger generation must pay a visit. Thus, Gong Kai attracted flying birds. Jump up with the disciples. Carrying an indescribable regret, soaring into the sky, Liu Qingxian let out a long breath, muttering, "The woman has finally left." Then, smiling, she came to Fang Chen's side, looking at Li Wenchen, who was grinning from ear to ear, playfully winked. "How is it? Oh, my daughter's judgment isn't bad, right? Let you take Fang Chen as your disciple. Did I not disappoint you?" Li Wenchen sighed with thirst, looking at Fang Chen, a little less daylight. Full Fang Chen has such a strong innate talent for body refining. It was unexpected. Unfortunately, the body refining resources of our Kingian sect, not as good as the giant sect. He felt very regretful. If Fang Chen's talent were in magic, it would be great. Then he will definitely focus on cultivating Fang Chen. Alas, refining the body technique, Qingyan sect is not skilled at. Cao Zhen, who was watching this scene from afar, extremely red eyes. A rival who defeated themselves completely. If I remember the grand ceremony, I will welcome you. Withdrawing from the cycle peak, entering the gates of the sect master. Is it time to fulfill the promise now? I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that. The faces of everyone present changed dramatically. Cao Zhen has a 7th grade spiritual root. He is the new disciple that the Grand Elder is most proud of. If truly forced to withdraw from the reincarnation peak, join the master peak. How much face does this have at the wheel of reincarnation peak? Fang Gu Kengwen Yan immediately retorted, "Q Kuzayor, it's just some jokes. How can it be taken seriously? Do not provoke the cycle of reincarnation, the relationship between the two peaks of the sect. Oh, I won't admit it. Yet they turned the tables on him. Slanderous equations have malicious intent." Fang Jiang silently looked at Cao Zhen, in front of a sect master. 9 elders. All disciples face the wager. It could also be a joke. Cao Zhen, if you can't handle losing, then don't play. To lose face. Cao Zhen's sense of pride is incredibly strong. Wenian was furious, with a firm resolve, turning to kneel before the wind's essence. Ku Shudao, disciple Cao Zhen is unfilial, failed to win the bet. Now fulfill the promise. Exit the cycle peak. Immediately, he approached Liu Wenchen. Kneel on one knee. Liu Wenchen was extremely excited. This is just like having a 7th grade spiritual root, similar to my own daughter. Endless potential. But his next sentence. This put Liu Wenchen in a difficult position. "Sanju, I am willing to join the sovereign wind, but I disdain to associate with equations. The sovereign wind belongs only to me. With him, there's no me." Implied meaning. Bai Liu Wenchen forces Fang Chen to leave the sect. A rootless soul. A 7th grade spiritual root. Who will Liu Wenchen choose? Need I say more? Cao Zhen's malicious intentions. It is known to all. Liu Wenchen, where can I get rid of the equation? This guy has made a lifelong commitment with his own daughter. But Cao Zhen, he absolutely does not want to give up. Cao Zhen, Fang Cheng has just achieved great success. If I were to expel him from the sect, how do people see me? Liu Wenchen led the conversation skillfully. Enemies can be reconciled but not resolved. You give this sect leader some face. You too have turned from enemies to friends. How are you? This is what was said. Can Cao Zhen not show any respect? He turned his gaze. He sneered. Turn enemies into friends with him. It's not impossible. I heard he has a useless spiritual root. Yet he has two beautiful wives. If you are willing to give me one, I can consider it. The voice has not yet finished. A cold light suddenly flashed in Feng Cheng's eyes. Without hesitation, a powerful bolt and dragon palm struck out. Cao Zhen was already prepared, angrily laughed and said, "You worthless thing! I've been wanting to experience this for a long time. Do you really think I'm not as good as you? If it's a test of physical strength," Cao Zhen believed he was not as good as Feng Cheng, but to resist with magic. The equation is not worthy of lifting itself. Storms cover the earth. He decisively drew his sword. And the first move is the strongest sword technique. A person uses their fist. A person uses a sword. One is a useless person without spiritual roots. One is an extraordinary genius with a seventh grade spiritual root. The result of such contempt. Do I need to say more? It will definitely be the equation that is slashed away by a sword. Blood spilled on the spot, ending it all. Some female disciples have already let out their screams in advance. Some male disciples couldn't bear to look at the furious glare. Some elders shook their heads slightly. Ming has a strong physique but doesn't use it, insisting on using one's own shortcomings. Colliding with Cao Zhen's strengths, now it's time to learn a painful lesson. Liu Wenchen saw this, immediately scolded. Assistant. He struck out to block. The wind drums, yet my heart feels great joy. With a flick of the sleeve, he threw a punch at Liu Wenchen. Prevent him from separating the two. Liu Wenchen stole his own disciple. Then he wants Liu Wenchen to lose one too. This is the only fair way. Between television sparks, Feng Chen and Cao Zhen have already engaged in battle. Shockingly, Cao Zhen's sword had not yet struck. Feng Chen executed the golden dragon palm, already resting on their shoulders. The crisp sound of a fracture, echoing throughout the venue. Immediately after that, Cao Zhen was sent flying away like a bolt of lightning, heavily crashed into the stone monument in the square. Under the distance, the stone tablet cracked with dense spiderweb-like fissures. Cao Zhen couldn't stop his mouth and nose. Blood flowed from his eyes. The injuries are quite severe. Reflecting on Fang Chen, still standing calmly in place, they also cast an unfriendly glance at Lai Qingfeng. In this way, if all of this is considered overdrawn potential, what is Cao Zhen worth? What are the other newcomers compared to me? Lai Qingfeng was blushing from the questioning. Kai Yingzi argued stubbornly. This child must have received direct guidance from the sect leader. Just made a little bit of progress. There won't be such strong support in the future. There will never be any progress again. I can only say, Tianjin is a great mountain. Formation is easy. It was difficult at first. The elders listened to this explanation. It seems forced but makes sense. After all, Gong Kai and Fang Chen, that was genuine love. Who knows what precious gifts she secretly gave him? Liu Qingxian covers her mouth and giggles. A group of fools, still in the dark. Fang Chen is strong because it's not someone from outside giving pointers. But he himself is very strong. He glanced at Cao Zhen, who looked like a dead dog. Liu Qingxian patted Fang Chen's shoulder. Well done. Such arrogant individuals who try to dominate others. This is how it should be treated. Liu Wenchen, after a brief moment of distraction, hurried to check on Cao Zhen. How is your injury? This is a seventh grade spiritual root. Who would have thought? Cao Zhen pushed Liu Wenchen away. Gritting his teeth, he said, "No need for Master Liu Zong's concern. He forced himself to stand up, looking at pairs of eyes staring at me, recalling the moment of my defeat. He felt utterly ashamed, unconsciously clenched my fists, glaring angrily at Fang Chen. Today's shame. I, Cao Zhen, will surely protect you in the future. Since your Qingyun sect cannot accommodate me, then I'll leave the Qingyun sect. Hope for the future. You won't regret it. He roared, walking towards the mountain gate with a limp. Liu Wenchen pleaded to stay several times. All were rejected by Cao Zhen with a wave of his sleeve. Cao Zhen was born into the Cao family. It is a powerful martial arts family. He also cannot forcibly detain it. In the end, all I could do was pat my thigh, watching him leave with my own eyes. Seventh rank spiritual root, placed in any of the 9 sects. Those are all treasures. Yet the Qingyun sect let him go. He turned his head, staring at Fang Chen with a hint of complaint. Liu Qingxian scoffed, blocking Fang Chen's path. Doubt. What happened to Fang Chen? What did he do wrong? The elders sighed deeply. As an observer, they support Fang Chen very much. I don't think Fang Chen did anything wrong, openly insulting his own wife. It's good that I didn't kill him. But they also understand Liu Wenchen. Okay. 1 month later, I am Ping Jai, a disciple of my sect. I want to see how long you can smile. He said angrily and left. Liu Qingxian's expression slightly changed. Zhang Liu asked Wen Chen, "Dead?" This time, the host disciple Ping Jai is a true disciple of the cycle wind. Tang Tianlong. He is a present stationed at the 8th level of the base. When the time comes to stabilize the ranks, they will definitely take the chance to strike at the opponent while testing their strength. Fang Chen is very powerful, facing the 8 floors stationed in the base. It must be quite difficult to handle. Throughout history, when stabilizing social classes, injuries are not uncommon. Even the unexpected accident forced the Danshan. This time, Fang Chen caused the Grand Elder to lose such a beloved disciple. The other party would not let him off easily. Liu Wenchen snorted through his nostrils. That was his own doing. Carrying anger, he turned and left on the spot. Liu Qingxian immediately became anxious, feeling some regret for accepting Cao Zhen's provocation. If not for this, it wouldn't lead to today's situation either. Senior sister, don't worry. Fang Chen comforted. I handle it with care. The problem shouldn't be too big. Isn't there still a month left? His cultivation should be able to improve further. Plus, he possesses exceptional agility, even if I cannot defeat Tang Tianlong. But the other party wants to harm me in public. I'm afraid it might be difficult too. Liu Qingxian, however, surrounded by red lips. Da, you don't understand what Dai Zai Pingjai means. If Pingji is lowly, you must leave Qingyun sect. Sent to the city under the jurisdiction of Qingyun sect. Serve as the city lord. For example, Yi Jifen from Guzhou city. He was once a disciple dismissed by Ping Jai. What? Fang Chen was taken aback. Next time, Pingji's power, but held in the hands of the reincarnation peak. If they make excuses for poor performance, forcefully define something as inferior, am I not being forced to leave? Far away from the Qingyun sect. Let's not talk about various resources. The materials for the foundation building elixir are nowhere to be found. In that case, a month later, when I underwent the test by Tang Tianlong, to showcase their impeccable strength, make them lose face by playing poorly. In other words, one's strength must at least be on par with Tang Tianlong. The other party is at the 8th level of foundation establishment. I am currently only at the 4th level of foundation building. He must improve his cultivation and techniques. Only with significant breakthroughs can we succeed. Mentioning the cultivation method, Fang Chen naturally thought of the reward for the first place in this ancestral worship ceremony. Da, senior sister, is my reward still valid? Liu Wenchen has left. The results were never announced at all. Liu Qingxian gave a bitter smile. Even if you obtain a book of immortality, what of it? 1 month is too short. You can't really achieve anything. In his view, this is just a last-minute effort, a technique from comprehension to successful cultivation. All require a significant amount of time and energy. What shocked him was, Fang Chen muttered, "The library of Qingyan sect. Is there such an amazing technique? It actually takes a month to master the skill." Liu Qingxian felt like hitting someone. What is this? Even royal level techniques. I want to practice until I reach a certain level. It takes at least 3 to 5 years to become strong. Can be found in Fang Chen's mouth. Cultivating skills is as simple as drinking water. He admitted, Fang Chen's spiritual root is exceptionally high. Qi Lingjun only determines the speed of cultivation. Cultivation of martial arts techniques involving comprehension. I see you're daydreaming. Li Qingxian gave him a glare. Fang Chen shrugged. Dao, I just want to know, does this reward count? Liu Qingxian Dao, of course it counts. This has been the rule since ancient times. The library of Qingyun sect, it is kept by the Grand Elder. My father just wants to stop you. Not qualified at all. Fang Chen looked puzzled. Why is there still a Grand Elder? Liu Qingxian said nothing. Is this strange? Otherwise, what do you think the patriarchs and elders of past generations believed? Are they all dead? Fang Chen finally realized. What you see is just the surface strength of the Qingyan sect. As a powerful martial artist, they are several times stronger than ordinary people. Lifespan is therefore very long. When one reaches a certain age, or perhaps a realm, he began to focus intently on martial arts and hand over the sect to the younger generation to manage. Otherwise, Qingyan sect, which has a history of hundreds of years, it's impossible that only a group of middle-aged sect leaders and elders are present. Those elders are just in retirement, not completely extinct. He felt a sudden clarity in his heart. Accompanied by Liu Qingxian, arrived at the library. The library is located on the hillside of the sect leader's mountain. It is a hollowed-out mountain, the hall carved out. The palace gate is cold and desolate. An old man dressed in a wrinkled gray robe. Jiang was squatting on the ground, teasing a mixed-breed puppy, occasionally grinning, exposing a mouth full of yellow teeth. Huang Sr., Liu Qingxian respectfully exerted her strength in front of outsiders. Liu Qingxian has always been a solitary person, cold and aloof personality, facing this old man, yet immensely respected. The old man before me, it is the previous elder Xiaoyao Feng, Yuang Zhanshen, now retired to the library, flipping through various ancient texts all day, attempting to find a way to break through the bottleneck. He didn't even lift his head. Dao, the newcomers for the ancestor worship ceremony have arrived, right? Liu Qingxian clasped her hands and said, Exactly. Please, Senior Huang, do me a favor. Huang Zhanshen finally raised his head, looking at Fang Chen beside him. Dao, what is your name? Fang Chen. Yuang Zhanshen showed a hint of speechlessness. You must be Fang Chen, that brat mentioned by Wu Jai. You actually managed to be the top newcomer. No wonder he keeps thinking about you. Came to me drunk to pour out their troubles. You really have some skills. with the talent of having no spiritual roots. Yet won the title of Best Newcomer. Yuang Jianchen can withstand Fang Chen's power. Xuanji took another look at Liu Qingxian. However, what are you here for? Past new disciples. I didn't see you bring him here yourself. Is it that age has caught up with me? A waking of spring's heart. This made Liu Qingxian feel awkward. Said with a wry smile, Senior Huang, don't joke around. Fang Chen is my junior apprentice. That's all. Yuang Jianchen also encountered. You have so many junior disciples. Who have you ever shown kindness to? Mystery inspires heroic paths. Fang Zai. You are quite weary of it. The most beautiful woman in the wine sect has a special affection for you. Don't miss it. Senior Huang. Liu Qingxian's face turned red, stamping the ground for support. Yuang Jianchen then laughed heartily. All right. No more talking. No more talking. Fang Ziozi. You can go in and choose any martial art manual. Reality is a cup of tea. Bro, just stay outside. Cannot enter. Fang Chen nodded. Step into it. Yuang Jianchen then said, I want to see. What's so impressive about this guy? The good techniques of the Kangjin Pavilion. It's not that easy to find. Excellent martial arts techniques. It's not an easy task. The disciples who came to the Kangjin Pavilion. The pursuit of exceptional cultivation techniques is rare. Liu Qingxian sighed helplessly. We can only see his destiny. Yuang Jianchen spoke meaningfully. Creation is only part of it. Personal insight is crucial. The seemingly excellent cultivation technique, not necessarily truly excellent. An ordinary skill that seems unremarkable, yet it may not truly be ordinary. Liu Qingxian is right. At first, I didn't understand what it meant. Once upon a time, Fang Chen, you have entered the Treasury Pavilion. A densely packed bookshelf. Intertwined paths, shaped like a maze. On the bookshelf, laying flat are the books of cultivation methods. The surface of each cultivation method. There is a layer of restriction. Unable to open it. Can only be taken out. Please let Yuang Jianchen outside go free. This eliminates the intruders. The possibility of secretly memorizing multiple techniques. Fang Chen arrived at the sword technique area. This place has the most bookshelves. Over a dozen bookshelves. Yi Zhan checks the time. Just enough for a quick glance. Huang Jai Gaodeng sword technique. Blazing Sun 9th generation. Xuanji lower level sword technique. The dragon and snake dance together. Xuanji intermediate sword technique. Ice heart sword technique. Xuanji intermediate sword technique. Kinglian sword song. Countless techniques flashed before Fang Chen. Among them, there was even a book on the supreme swordsmanship of Xuanji. Magic sword technique. This made Fang Chen's heart race. Xuanji high level. This is the highest level cultivation method of the Qingyan sect. After a brief contemplation, he decisively gave up, just because of the introduction. It detailed the drawbacks of this sword technique. Its power is indeed formidable. However, it is easy to cause confusion when applied. Fang Chen always believed that, in the battle of life and death, calmness is an extremely crucial factor. If one loses their sanity, even if one's own strength is formidable, it can easily be countered by the opponent. So, carved on a meteorite, cultivation is difficult. The sword moves frequently. The only advantage is when it is used. Can create a slight shaking effect. The effectiveness against enemies is average. Choose wisely. Fang Chen's lips twitched. See its meaning. Its power is quite ordinary, only worthy of being rated as the Huangji Gong method. But because the cultivation is difficult, Only then was it classified as the Xuan ice technique. Who chooses this? Just as he was about to leave, suddenly felt something was off. It shouldn't be like this. Since the sword techniques are frequent, how to create a shock effect? He considers himself to be of supreme excellence. Kixing sword technique, cultivated to the extreme. He has never appeared either. The so-called spatial oscillation. Is it the one who attempted the sword technique? Did not gain the correct understanding. While he hesitated, outside, Huang Jianshan's reminder was heard. Time's up. Carry out the selected cultivation method. Fang Chen gritted his teeth. This is the Sword Star Destiny course. Picked it up. Then arrived outside the hall. Huang Jianshan carried a hint of anticipation. Shen Chu Dao. Pama Pama Pong. Let me take a look, old man. That kid from Wuji has high hopes for the younger generation. How's your eyesight? As Fang Chen handed over the technique, Liu Kingxian caught a glimpse of the words. Unable to avoid the path of evil now. Oh dear. Fang Chen. Why did you choose this? This is a useless martial arts manual. Many people do not believe in the supernatural. They all chose it. The result was exactly the same as the introduction. Fang Chen was stunned. It turns out there are people who share the same thoughts as you. Not just one. Then wouldn't I fall into the pit myself? Huang Jianshan saw that it was this martial arts manual. He also pursed his lips. It seems your eyesight isn't that great. This old cross technique, but deceived quite a few disciples. Today, another fool has appeared. Fang Chen wanted to cry but had no tears. Finally managed to enter the sutra repository. But instead, I got a book that was a scam. He felt a bit unwilling. Duh. I'll try saying it again. Huang Jianshan let out a sound. All previous disciples were like you. That's what everyone says. Stubborn one after another. Don't give up until the very end. If you take a look, you won't think that way. Closing my eyes, I unlocked the restrictions above. Return it to Fang Chen. Fang Chen was not willing to accept it. He boldly opened this book of techniques. It has two parts. A part is a diagram. A part is text. Image. It was the meteorite from that year and the techniques inscribed on it. It's just a little blurry, not easy to recognize. Therefore, collector, right next to the picture, please transcribe the techniques shown in the image in text form. Fang Chen was too lazy to identify them one by one, carefully reading the transcribed text. After reading through it thoroughly, it really is simple and easy to understand. Very simple. He drew the black sword. The eye connection has begun. Huang Jianshan was taken aback. Oh, what is this kid up to? Has he already comprehended this sword technique? Can't pull off a trick. Liu Kingxian also looked puzzled. Even if the techniques of the Jiangxin training course are very simple, but that also requires the understanding and hard practice from last month. Fang Chen just flipped through it. Very soon, the two of them were equally shocked. Only Fang Chen truly held the black sword. Practice eye exercises on the spot. The sword moves were exactly the same as those practiced before. Every move causing a slight tremor in the air. A faint popping sound was heard. This is not a sword heart movement class. What is it again? Huang Jianshan stared with wide eyes. This is a swordsmanship genius of a century. We have collected a great treasure at Qingyan sect. Liu Kingxian was immediately furious. Just now, Fang Chen was mumbling. It turns out it wasn't him who floated away, but rather, he truly has an extraordinary understanding of swordsmanship. Fang Chen was completely oblivious to the expressions of the two. He looked very pale. Practice by yourself. It turns out it's this kind of situation. But he still felt something was off. The sword techniques are quite ordinary. But why can it cause air vibrations? This is unreasonable. Did I make a mistake? Carrying a sense of unwillingness. He reviewed the techniques of the super road again. Make sure you haven't misunderstood anything. Mo Dai. He accidentally flipped to the page with the picture. A flicker of emotion stirred within. Is it because of the super road? Then, comparing with the text on the super road, carefully decipher the inscriptions on the meteorite. Don't worry about not watching. At a glance, he really found out the problem. It's not that the text is overly incorrect. So it was like this. He excitedly picked up the black sword. Rehearse it again. Feng Yuan Yi Jian. With a whoosh, this sword slid out. It triggered a thunderous roar. The air trembled and swirled. Silent wind whistling. A tremendous thunder sound. Even more so caught off guard Liu Qingxian and Huang Jianshan. The body trembled. Ears buzzing. Sunrise over the vast sea. Once more with a sword. A more intense sound of thunderstorm. Completely stunned the two, leaving their ears ringing. Lost the ability to hear. To the extent that the final sword strike unleashed the falling stars of heaven and earth. They can no longer hear any sound. Only the air in front of Fang Chen can be seen. It rolled round as if the master had gone mad. The surrounding grass and trees, all was crushed in an instant. The power is immense. Astonished to hear, Huan Jianshan could no longer sit still, jumped up suddenly, gazing in shock at the scene before me. This is the story of Kenshin, the Wanderer. Mysterious advanced cultivation technique. None of them have such power. His gaze toward Fang Chen completely changed. Not possible. This swordsman is a prodigy. How can one be buried in the dominant wind? I went to find Liu Wenchen. Bring him here. Put it on our Zioil Peak. Liu Qingxian was also stunned, left speechless. He suddenly understood. Why does Gong Kei like Fang Chen so much? It is very likely that Gong Kai accidentally discovered Fan Ten's unparalleled talent. Ting Huang Jiantian has also started to snatch people. His mouth was full of bitterness. Why is it that none of them uphold the principles of martial virtue? Just sent off Gong Kai. Even the elder of our own family has come out to snatch people. He hurriedly said, Huang Sr., you have retired. According to the rules, no one can arbitrarily intervene in the affairs of the sect anymore. Otherwise, the other elders will follow suit. It's all in chaos. Huang Jianshan took just 2 steps out. Had no choice but to stop. Huang Jianshan asked, such a fierce talent. He found it hard to teach himself, let alone Zhao Wuji. It seems to be somewhere. Fang Chen will eventually be buried. And it also broke the rules for no reason. It is likely to cause chaos in the Qingyan sect. He scratched his head. After a long time, helplessly pounding his chest and stamping his feet, he shouted to the sky, Liu Wenchen, carefree in the wind with nature and self. Liu Qingxian was at a loss whether to cry or laugh. If Huang Jianshan knew, Liu Wenchen didn't think much of this person. He sought in vain to meet the genius. Surely they will run to the Master Peak in anger. Let's give Liu Wenchen a good beating. He couldn't help but secretly explore. Then you are blissfully unaware of your own blessings. Fang Chen had no time to pay attention to the two of them. Surprised to see the scene of destruction before me, not to mention how powerful the sword moves are. Yuan Ko, kicking sword technique, multiple times. Every move and technique contains the essence of a storm. Then the enemy can truly be caught off guard, and thrown into chaos. Give the opportunity to Kai Kecheng. For the disciple Pingji, after a month, he gained a bit more confidence. Aye, since you have completed your training, this book is about the sword heart and the wanderer. The old man took it back. Yuang Jianshan interrupted his thoughts. Fang Chen quickly handed the technique back. Yuang Jianshan looked distressed as he gazed at this manual that he couldn't borrow. He didn't know how to handle this technique anymore. He is said to be of lower status in the realm of mystery. That power just now. All can rival the imperial level lower tier techniques. One could say it's of the lower tier among the imperial level. Others practice at the yellow level. Only Fang Chen's training is at the imperial level. Fang Chen saw that he was troubled. Testing the path. Senior, do you hope that I write down the true method of practicing this technique? Yuang Jianshan was taken aback. Xuanji had a stern expression. Old man still needs you to write. If Fang Chen were to write it out, doesn't that mean he is the esteemed grand elder, not as good as a disciple? You all go ahead. Yuang Jianshan waved his hand. Take the two of them away. Yuang Jianshan quickly flipped it open. Jiangxin's fall, muttering, this kid can grasp the true essence of sword techniques. Then I can definitely do it too. So I watched it carefully over and over again. Practiced 10 times and 10 times again. Practiced from noon until dark. Yuang Jianshan finally succeeded in breaking the sword in his hand into 2 pieces, and angrily threw it on the ground. Damn it! How did this guy train? Why can't I practice it out? He felt a bit regretful. I shouldn't have acted so aloof just now. Now it's good. He couldn't comprehend it. This is a city-level cultivation technique, just lying here in front of me. But I can't master it. This will keep him restless for days and nights, unable to sleep. The other side, Fang Chen and Liu Qingxian were walking on the road back to Sect Master Feng, but found that the disciples were all hurriedly descending the mountain. What happened? Liu Qingxian stopped a disciple, frowned, and said, Senior sister, the sect leader urgently summoned all disciples and elders of the sect. It is said that after Kong Zongju left Qingyan sect, I went to Beishu Mountain, killed the mate of the Beast King. The Beast King mistakenly thought it was our Qingyan sect's doing. It's rampaging within the city of Qingyan sect. Without a doubt, Kong Yuanma is seeking revenge against Qingyan sect. Liu Qingxian furrowed her brows in anger. This bastard, the Beast King of White Beast Mountain, the elder's strength is on par with that of our Qingyan sect. Under his command, there are thousands of Yeshu. Once it starts to break down, the consequences are very serious. Fang Chen, we should hurry and go too. Fang Chen nodded without hesitation. He broke through to the 4th level of the base not long ago. The foundation is not solid. Hunting demon beasts can quickly seize the advantage. When they arrived at the square, it is already a sea of people. Countless disciples gathered. Liu Wencheng did not wait for everyone to gather completely. Immediately informed everyone of the emergency situation. The beast turmoil of White Beast Mountain. We are invading Shicheng. Now, withdraw 100 disciples. Rushing to Shicheng, slaying low-level demon beasts. Wenyan, everyone was thrown into chaos. The beast era has not yet arrived. The Beast King has caused trouble within the Qingyan sect. If you don't stop soon, when the Beast dynasty arrived, Qingyan sect is surrounded by beast enemies. However, the monsters of Beishu Mountain are not easy to deal with either. Everyone is extraordinary, possessing various strange talents and abilities, extremely difficult to eliminate. Qingyan sect has tolerated him within its territory for many years. You can see a glimpse of it. Now go and slay them. The danger level is not low. This caused many disciples to feel resistance. But Liu Wencheng's next sentence, let them boil over, this hunt for the demon beast, rewarding meritorious deeds. Hunting a demon beast. Acquire 1 attack point. A resident boundary demon beast. 10 attack points. If we can slay that demon king of the Jai Dan mirror. 100 attack points. Relying on attack points, and can enter the Qingyan sect's holy hall for cultivation. The more attack points there are, the longer the time for cultivation. But upon hearing this, they can no longer remain calm. Temple, that is the Grand Elders, only places qualified for cultivation. It is said that the spiritual energy there is as dense as a mass. A day of cultivation, equivalent to a month's cultivation in the outside world. If I can cultivate for 10 days within it, it's equivalent to suffering in the outside world for a year. Even a pig can break through a realm, but there are only 100 spots available. Only a few lucky ones can go. Announced. Liu Wenchen ordered someone to bring up a large box. There are wooden plaques engraved with the names of all disciples of Qingyan sect. Random selection. 10 people per group. The leader with high skills. Everyone is eagerly waiting. Liu Wenchen slapped the box with his palm. Then a large wooden sign flew out. He performed a grand show. Casually rolled up 10 of them. Quan Dao Feng Zhen Jiu. Yao Feng Su Keuning. Lun Hui Feng Zhang'ai. Immediately head to Biliu City. Lun Hui Feng Tang Tianlong. Tian Jian Feng Liu Ru Yan. Zio Yao Feng Zhu Chengzhai. Immediately head to Guzhou City. Liu Ryan was astonished. Actually drew myself. Moreover, they teamed up with Tang Tianlong from the 8th Division stationed in Jai. This task, can it be done with absolute certainty? San Du Fen Fen Chen. Tian Giant Seals Ding Wanping. Tian Giant Seals Chen Si Lin. Immediately head to Yunyang City. Apologies, I didn't quite understand your request. Could you clarify or provide more details about what you'd like me to do? A commotion erupted among the disciples. This team isn't doing so well. Only the senior disciple Ding Wanping is a bit stronger. There are 6 layers stationed. The other older disciples are quite mediocre. There are 2 newcomers in the key. An equation, a Chen Silin. Aren't they just slowing us down? It's hard to say whether they can eliminate the demon beasts. There might even be someone who will lose their life. Liu Ryan was gloating, running far towards the equation. If you're afraid of dying, you can take your little mistress and leave. Make way. Fang Chengmei shot him an angry glance. I can't be bothered to deal with him. I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that. But she ended up beside Liu Ru Yan, looking at the graceful figure. Liu Ru Yan, who is strikingly beautiful. The gaze couldn't hide its intensity. He chuckled lightly. Huh? You know Fang Cheng. Liu Ryan was pleasantly surprised. I actually managed to get Tang Tianlong to approach me. He nodded. The tone is so complex that. The former fiancé. Now, it's my sister's. When witnessing firsthand, Fang Jiang defeated Kang Washuang with a single punch. With a single palm strike, Cao Zhen was extinguished. He felt very confused and lost. Very disappointed. There are emotions in my heart that are hard to express. He eagerly wishes for the number 1 shadow to appear beside him. Give him a little courage to face the equation. Unfortunately, he is alone. The appearance of Tang Tianlong made him feel as if he had found a strong support. His next words. It restored his confidence. 6th rank spiritual root. Outstanding appearance. The fiancé of such a heavenly beauty. It's surprising that this kind of person relies on overextending their potential to succeed. I feel it's not worth it for you, based on your conditions. Searching for a true dragon son of heaven? Absolutely no problem. Fortunately, you managed to escape this wicked desire. It's a pity about your sister. I carry this useless fiancé for you. This statement. Undoubtedly, it reflects Liu Ryan's mindset. It's been such a long time. Finally, someone understands her. She looked at Fang Cheng again. The emotions in my heart slowly fade away. Can't help but poke fun at myself. I also find it strange. Why do I always want to compete with her? Clearly, she is not worth it. Chen Silin, who accompanied Fang Cheng. I had already heard Liu Ruxu talk about Liu Ryan's situation. She is still stubbornly unrepentant. Speaking earnestly and with deep concern. Miss Liu, the matter with Fang Zheng has already been settled. Why hold on to it so tightly? Live your own life well. The equation hardly cares about you anymore. The first two sentences. Liu Ryan's expression was calm, but the last sentence. It felt like stepping on her tail. Let her just let go. The expression turned cold. What is your identity? It's just being stingy. Do you think you have the right to teach me? You should focus on yourself. And I survive. Listen to the skills of Fang Cheng. Protecting oneself is strong enough. Chen Silin didn't expect his good intentions. This is the attitude I've received in return. The beautiful Li Yemei gently lifted her brows, holding onto Fang Cheng's arm. Confident, too. Miss Liu doesn't need to worry. I trust my husband. He will protect me well. It will also take me into the temple. Liu Ruyan gritted her silver teeth in anger. She lost to her sister Liu Ruxu. She acknowledged it. But why should a woman who comes from behind be given the advantage? Can also show off in front of oneself. Could she be even worse than a Chen Silin? Then let's have a competition. It's the equation that gives you more. It's still more from Brother Tang. Chen Silin replied without hesitation. All right. No problem. Tang Tianlong was at a loss whether to laugh or cry. Liu Shaimai, how can you make me compete with a loser? This is such an insult to me. Liu Ryan's face turned awkward, just about to apologize. Tang Tianlong sighed. There's no need to compare anymore. She doesn't deserve it. But I will let Liu Shaimai know, even if it's just to team up with me. The benefits gained. She will also be 10 times better than that useless woman. Liu Ryan's face was illuminated by a hint of radiance, looking at the equation, full of complexity, when Liu Wenchen finished drawing lots. 100 disciples drew lots, divided into 10 teams. Time is of the essence. You only have a quarter of an hour to prepare. A quarter of an hour. There isn't even enough time to return to the mountain gate. There are still some talismans. These are worth several hundred gold stones. Ding Wamping happily accepted. Master is still good to us. Xu and Jai looked at Fang Cheng standing next to Chen Silin. The more I look, the more it stings my eyes. Just then, Liu Wenchen was distributing resources to the disciples of the sect leader Feng. Finally, it was Fang Cheng's turn. In a rush, the sovereign and the elders were not adequately prepared with resources. When it comes to equations, only 2 healing elixirs are left. He expressionlessly threw it to Fang Cheng. Only this. However, your skills are quite ordinary. Avoiding encounters with magical beasts is the priority. Leave the matter of slaying the beast to Ding Wanping. These 2 are enough. Briefly explained. Just turn around and leave, comparing King Feng's affection for his disciples. The gap is not just ordinary. Fang Zheng touched his nose. It seems we have to drive out Cao Zhen. Let Liu ask Wen Chen for his opinion. Ding Wanping took the opportunity to mock. Poor thing. It's time to set off. But no one cares about you. Even the master only casually gave 2 healing elixirs. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Chen Silin watched with her eyes. Heartbroken, I held onto Fang Cheng's hand and said, "Husband, my elixirs. Don't use the talisman. The effect is much better now. Still haven't left the sect yet. So intimate. It was even worse outside. I want to see the next episodes of Xuan Ling Tian in advance, my treasures." You can download Kidian Reading. Then open the search. Xuan Ling Tian